Caitlin Clark is out for the season. Her injury highlights a bigger WNBA problem. Clark's absence shows the stakes: fewer fans, lower ratings, and the need for reform. Thanks to a new generation of players like Angel Reese, Cameron Brink, and Paige Bueckers, the WNBA is booming. It's terrible timing, then, that injuries are also on the rise. The latest victim, superstar Caitlin Clark, who announced on Instagram last week that she'll be sitting out the rest of the season because of a groin injury. That brings the total number of injured players on her team, the Indiana Fever, to 5. Across the league, 16 players are out for the remainder of the 2025 season, as of September 10th. And that's a big problem. Jordan Robinson, sports journalist and host of the Women's Hoop Show podcast, tells Yahoo. Robinson is among commentators who blame the uptick in injuries on WNBA shortcomings, specifically short team rosters, back-to-back game scheduling, and low pay that pushes athletes to play year-round, instead of prioritizing rest and recovery. Injuries happen for all different reasons, Robinson says. But Caitlin Clark only playing 13 games this season due to injury is an unfortunate reality of what could happen if this wild pace of the WNBA season continues. The league's popularity has done a lot of good, like bringing games to bigger arenas and expansion to new cities. But that increased viewership is dependent on big stars like Clark putting on a show, which they can't do from the sidelines. Clark's absence in earlier games brought WNBA TV ratings and betting interest down. During last Sunday's game between the Fever and Washington Mystics, Indiana's first since Clark's announcement, the Washington Post pointed out large patches of empty seats in what was supposed to be a sold-out game. So many players missed significant time this season, and fans and viewers are forced to miss out on watching their favorite players, says Robinson. Here's what's happening and why some experts say changes to pay, schedules, not to mention more female-focused research, could help the WNBA overcome these growing pains. Pain no gain? With more than a month to go before finals, the 2025 season has already seen more injury reports than the last 2 WNBA seasons. Some of its most popular teams, including the Fever and the Dallas Wings, are being hurt, literally and figuratively, the most. Those are 2 teams that have had to bring in and sign a lot of players in the middle of the season. Dr. Samantha Smith, assistant professor of orthopedics and rehabilitation at Yale School of Medicine, tells Yahoo, referring to hardship contracts that allow teams to temporarily sign free agents when they have fewer than 10 healthy players on their roster. Those teams also got a lot of attention for the off-season moves that they made and set really high expectations. It was a really disappointing situation. While the Wings' #1 draft pick, Paige Bueckers, remains healthy, her teammates' injuries, 4 of which have been season-ending, have forced the team to sign multiple hardship contracts, including one that saved them from forfeiting a game in late August. You need 8 active players, and they weren't going to have that for one of their games, Rachel Demita, host of the Courtside Club podcast, tells Yahoo. She's made the argument that rosters need to be expanded beyond the league's current 12-player maximum, compared to the NBA's 15. Building a bigger roster might alleviate some risk of injury by allowing each player to play a bit less of each game and rest more. There are other factors to consider. What's contributing to injuries? The amount of time that female basketball players play is a big part of the conversation, as the extended time on the court increases the risk of injury. The currently injured Nafisa Collier of the Minnesota Lynx, for example, has appeared in 34 regular season games so far this year, playing up to 40 minutes, the entire length of a WNBA game, at a time. She's also one of many WNBA players who play for other leagues, in Collier's case, Unrivaled, which she co-founded during the offseason to make extra money. A lot of the players at this point, and for most of their careers, have been playing literally all year round, says Demita. So you take the WNBA season and obviously the physicality of the game, then a lot of players are going overseas to play for another 6 to 7 months. Other leagues, such as Athletes Unlimited and Unrivaled, have all been fantastic for the players, so they can supplement their income when they're not making so much money, Demita adds. But I think the goal for the WNBA should be to pay these players so they don't have to worry about putting their bodies through so much stress during the off-season. Increased salary is on the table during the current contract negotiations, as is the structure of team rosters and an extension to the league season, which would allow more time to play all 44 games and lessen the physical pressure of back-to-back matchups. All of these factors are notably different from the NBA and could help to mitigate some risk of injury to these women. Even still, there's another big element that's been somewhat overlooked: research and resources specifically catered to female athletes and their bodies. A lot of the research that does exist around elite athletes includes a lot of male athletes and far fewer female athletes, says Smith, who is part of Yale's Female Plus Athlete program. There are definitely differences in injury rates and patterns. Some of that has to do with differences in physiology, but there's also a lot of factors that we just don't totally understand. Major injuries are bad for everybody, says Smith. It's bad for fans, it's bad for the players, it's bad for the league. The 2025 WNBA season was supposed to be a turning point, a meteoric rise driven in large part by rookie sensation Caitlin Clark. Her debut drew sold-out crowds, primetime coverage, and a wave of new fans. She was electric, transforming the Indiana Fever into must-watch basketball. But now, the roar of the crowd has quieted. Caitlin Clark is out for the season with a knee injury, a non-contact collapse that felt, in real time, like more than just bad luck. And maybe it is more than bad luck. Maybe it's a warning sign, a symptom of a larger, structural problem within the WNBA. Clark's injury, while devastating on a personal level, has spotlighted systemic issues that the league can no longer afford to ignore: overwork, underinvestment in player health, travel fatigue, and a punishing schedule that disproportionately burdens its stars. The physical toll of stardom. Clark, like many elite rookies, didn't have much of an offseason. After a grueling college career that ended in April, she was thrust almost immediately into WNBA training camp. Barely a month passed between her final game in the NCAA tournament and her first as a professional. For most athletes, that's not rest. That's a layover. The transition from college to the pros is punishing in any sport, but the WNBA adds a unique twist: a condensed schedule, fewer teams, meaning more minutes for star players, and significantly less investment in recovery infrastructure. Players fly commercial, still, unlike their NBA counterparts. That's hours of cramped travel, delayed flights, and long nights. Clark, as the face of a franchise and arguably the league, carried a relentless media schedule in addition to all of that. The human body has limits. Hers reached them.